In this video, I'm going to show you something that took me 8 to 10 years to figure out, which is 5 steps to get the best out of your RAW files. I just did a really cool video about Paris where I challenged myself to reproduce some of my best art of the last 17 years. And in this video, we're going to retouch it together. Also, I'm going to show you a way to get all my books and presets for almost nothing. So what I'm going to show you is 5 steps called the natural drama. This is 5 things you need to do on every single photo to get the best out of your RAW file. I see so many people taking good photos and then destroying it in Lightroom because they are over-retouching it or under-retouching it. I'm going to try to show you a way that works almost every time. But if you stay until the end, mesdames et messieurs, it's absolutely crazy. In the last one, it's going to be a crazy sunset, which is very challenging. You will see how the 5 steps can really help. So let's get started. My name is Serge. I'm a French photographer from the amazing city of Paris, France, but I live in the US and my work is in over 120 galleries around the world, and I've published 7 coffee table books. And I really want to teach you photography in the most simple way. So let's get this party started, mesdames et messieurs. Let's go. All right, so we're going to start with this photo. This is a photo that I tried to reproduce. This is my original photo that I shot years ago. And unfortunately, we went there in November. And it's the view, it's one of the Seine River view, but it was just, the weather was so bad. So I had a crazy idea, as you know, if you, please go watch that video so you can see all the behind the scene. But anyway, I tried different things. The weather was so bad. I was like, okay, I'm going to do an extreme long exposure. So what I did is, check this out. It's a 300-second exposure at f4, ISO 100. Again, you have the link to the video on how this was shot. So what is the 5 step of the natural drama? Well, this is covered in my book, The 5 Step of the Natural Drama, which you can get with my Photoshop book and some of my best presets for $1.99. The link is under this video. Crazy, instead of $97. So let me show you. Step number 1 is exposure. This photo, despite being 300 seconds, I had an ND filter, so it's very dark, but check it out. If I open a shadow on this one and I bring down the highlights, okay, but then I hold on the option key. So I always do that. I open the shadow and bring on the highlights at 100. And then I hold on the option and I use my black slider here. And these are 100% black. Then on the last step, which is the white, I'm going to reveal the photo. Check this out. When you do the white, you will see most of the photo. And on this one, I have to push the whites all the way to about 70. Okay, now I've got a good exposure. Now, the reason why exposure is the first step, mesdames et messieurs, the reason why it's the first step is because you can't handle colors until you can see what's going on. On this one, I'm going to boost the overall exposure, but that's about it. So you open the shadows, 100%, and then you do the highlights minus 100%. Then you hold on the option key and you do black point and white point, and then you adjust the exposure. It's incredible. It's incroyable. Yes, it's funny. Okay, so now a lot of people is going to say, oh, I'm sure there's got to be a lot of noise in the shadows. No, not necessarily. Look at this. I look at the shadows and it's actually pretty clean. There's not that much noise. Our sensors today are so powerful. Yes, this was shot on a Sony 7R5, but you would be surprised. I mean, unless you're really underexposed too much, you can open the shadow 100%. And I do it on most of my photo and it works great. So on this one, I'm maybe going to boost the exposure a little more. So now it's incroyable. It's already much better. I love it. So now, let's do the step number 2, which is white balance. So white balance on this one is a little too blue, so I think I'm just gonna, well, let me show you something about white balance. What you see here as shot is was shot with a Sony camera, is what the camera thought was the best white balance because it was on automatic white balance. Now, funny enough, if you go to auto, Lightroom is gonna reevaluate what is the right white balance. And in this case, it does something completely different. So basically, this is the engineers from Sony white balance, automatic white balance, and this is the one from Lightroom. Now, I'm cheating a little bit because the fact that I open the exposure, it gives a different file. So Lightroom is reevaluating in a new unit of time what is the white balance and giving you this. Honestly, I think I'm just going to go to a shout. I like the way Sony did it. I'm just going to add a bit of yellow because it's too blue. Yellow is going to counter the blue. And then I'm going to add lots of magenta because at night, I think magenta works really well. Okay, so that's step number 2. Step number 3 is refining colors. Yes, refining colors because there's so much you can do in white balance, but sometimes if you want to have the exact blue or the exact orange or magenta, you need to refine colors. And for this, we're going to use a new option that just came out about a month ago on the color mixer. If you go to color mixer point color. It's incroyable. It's funny. Look what they did. You can sample a color. You click here. Let's say I want to fine tune that blue. I can click on that blue and you can see here, now I can move it to where I want it. So for example, I think I want to move it a little more towards magenta. This is way more magenta. This is way towards teal. I think I want to move it a little more magenta, maybe like this. Okay, and then let's take the yellow here. So I'm going to sample the yellow and I'm like, ooh, I think I want to move it a little more. Yes, now look at this. It's very powerful. Just a little more towards the yellow. And look at the difference before, after. I saturated a lot more the warm and I love my colors. It was 2 clicks. Now I am ready for the most incredible step of all, is the dodge and burn. Step number 4, dodge and burn. All right, so dodge and burn. What is dodge and burn? Dodge and burn means making your photo brighter or darker in some instances. Now, before I do dodge and burn on step number 4, and again, this is all covered in my book. I give you so many examples. It's ridiculous. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to crop that photo to 16:9 because I think it's a little too centered and I want to make it a little more dynamic. Plus 16:9 is I love about 16:9. It's the resolution of my screen. I mean, the ratio of my screen. So check this out. Boom. Now we have less sky, more road. It's more dynamic. It's sexy. It is incroyable. It is beautiful. It has a little je ne sais quoi. And then, mesdames et messieurs, this is where it gets crazy. We're going to go and do the dodge and burn. For this, we're going to use what we call the local tools. So the local tools is exactly what they say. The linear gradient, you click on this and you click and drag. And when you click and drag, you see some red here. And then now, whatever I do here, like for example, if I lower the exposure, that minus 0.55, mesdames et messieurs, is going to be applied at 100% from the bottom of the screen to that red dot. And from the red dot to the white dot, it is going to be on a gradient. The gradient can be very small. So you can like, let me overdo it so you can see. You can see there's like a black line. Or it can be very smooth. It is like you want. It is like Paris. It is amazing. So we do that. Bam. All right. And now let's do another one for the very top. Bam. Bam. I like to vignette my photo. I want to focus the eyes of the person inside of the photo, okay? So that's already good, but now I want to push this a little further. I kind of love how the lone exposure gave me that white because it's in the middle of the shot, but I want to make it a bit brighter here. So check this out. I'm going to put a little gradient here and I'm just going to add some exposure, okay? So now the exposure is here. It's making even more, it's really focusing the eyes inside. But I want to put this behind the building. So check this out. There is a new option that a lot of people don't know. If you click 3 dots here and you go intersect mask with sky. I repeat, intersect mask with sky. Are you ready? Boom. When you do that, the exposure is going to go behind. Check this out. Before, you see now it's only influencing the sky and it's not influencing the buildings. Isn't that crazy? It's like using automatic masking. And I like that. And one last step I want to do is I want to use the brush. I always use the brush. I'm going to take a brush. Now, in case you've never used a brush, you're going to be very careful about a few things with it. You see, if the feather, sometimes I see people using it with the feather at 0% and flow intensity at 100. Let's boost it here. And you can make it small or big using the middle mouse, which is really cool. I do that all the time. So let's make it small. And then boom. You see, if I do that, it's really boring, okay? Now, it's kind of like, yeah, I didn't do anything to the photo. No, it was like this. It was normal. It was absolutely normal. No. Now, if I push the feather all the way and I do it a little bit like this, ooh, now it's feathered. It's much nicer, but still too much visible. And now if I lower the flow and the density and I do it again, now you can hardly notice it. And now if I lower the exposure and make it bigger, you can hardly notice it. And that's what we want. You want to hardly notice it. By the way, so let me press delete. A good way to know if you've gone too far on a dodge and burn is that a few hours after, a week after, a day after, you look at your photo, and if you can see right away where you made things brighter or darker, you know you've gone too far. You have gone too far. It is crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go here, take a brush, make sure feathers 100, flow intensity in the 70s. And all I want, mesdames et messieurs, is I want to put more attention on that leading line here. So it really, the eyes of the people go here and here. See, I'm actually literally brushing where I want people to look at my photo. And check this out. Let's reset the entire photo. So step number 5, and the last step in this one, I don't need to, would be to go to Photoshop, but we'll do it in some other photos. This one, I have no Photoshop to do. I'm really happy with the result. Look at this, before, after. I love this photo. I mean, I never thought I would get such a photo with such a bad weather. You got to watch the behind the scene video. So now, mesdames et messieurs, we are going to go to the top of Paris, La Tour Montparnasse. It's the one building that's in the heart of Paris. We went there right at sunset. By the way, they just reopened because it was closed for about a year. And now we can go back there. Unfortunately, I made a mistake. I took the wrong tripod. So I had to do everything by hand. And I had the Leica Q3 and I had my Sony, and I took both photos. And I'm going to compare the Leica and the Sony, and we're going to retouch one of them. So let's do it. So here we are. We are at the top of the world of Paris. It's so funny because Paris is actually very flat. This is the only sort of building that's tipping out of the entire city. And so this was shot with the Leica, and this was shot with the Leica. Yeah, and this was shot with the Sony. And I'm going to compare, I'm going to retouch the Leica, and then I'm going to retouch the Sony, and we're going to compare the difference. So let's retouch the Leica first. So step number 1, the exposure. So we open a shadow, we read on the highlights. You're professionals now, you know this. Then you hold on the Option key to set a black point. You want a very, it's good to a photo to have like a few pixels which are very black. So I like to go about that much, okay? And then I'm gonna boost the whites, add a bit of contrast on this one, and maybe even lower a bit the exposure and boost the whites. Yeah, I like that kind of exposure. The white balance is completely wrong, but I like that. Now let's go to the white balance. Again, way too yellow. Let's see what, if I go to daylight, let's see what I get. Daylight is too blue. Let's go to cloudy. So this, by the way, I forgot to explain, but these are like different settings done by Lightroom. I think shade will be good on this one. Yeah, shade is kind of cool. I like shade, but I think I'm gonna add a lot of magenta because I just love it. I'm so sorry. That's what it is. I love it. I love magenta. Okay, cool. Oh, you see, it's this photo, because I shot it by hand, is a bit noisy. So you know what? We're gonna use a new option in Lightroom. Check this out. I'm gonna right click and I'm gonna go to Enhance. And I'm gonna use, there's a new feature in Lightroom where you can take out the raw files at any step of your retouching, basically on the raw level. And I usually put it around 40. On this one, it's not much noise, about 40. And what that's gonna do is that it's gonna create a new raw file, okay? A new raw file, but the noise has been taken out. Don't overdo it. Like 40 is my max because then you lose a lot of details, but 40 is good. 40 is amazing. So you see, it's doing this here, creating the edge. So be careful on some old Windows computer, it can take a long time. I have a good Mac, so it's pretty fast. Okay, so now this is, you see, it changed the name to Enhance. Now it says Enhance. I'm gonna select both of them and press C. And what's amazing is that all the retouching that I've done has been applied. I love that. It's a small detail, but I love it. So on the left side, you have the enhanced version. And on the right side, you have the non-enhanced version. I'm gonna press Shift Tab to go in full screen mode. And I'm gonna click here on the Eiffel Tower so you can see, look at this. No more noise in the sky whatsoever. Look, all the noise has been taken out. But the photo is still very, very sharp. It's got lots of details. It's just the nose was taken out. Isn't that crazy? And that's a new feature which is in a Lightroom that I love. So let's go to the enhanced version here. Okay, so now I think I want to add a little more magenta. Yeah, a little more magenta. I like that. I think on this one, I'm going to add a bit of clarity because I really want to make the city pop. And I love that. Now, refining colors on this one, let's go. Let's go to refining colors. So step number 1 was exposure. Number 2 was white balance. Number 3 is color mixer. So let's go here. I kind of like, let's look at this blue here. It's a little too blue. I think I want to desaturate it. So you can either move this or you can go to saturation shift here and just desaturate a little bit. See, it's going to make the Pont go lower. Just take slightly that blue and make it a little less saturated. On the other end, I want to do the opposite with the orange. I think the orange, I want to make it a little more reddish. Yeah, look at this. It's the red of the city. I love that. Okay, good. So now we did step number 3. Step number 4 is dodge and bird. But again, I love to do my cropping at this point. So I'm going to go 16:9 again. And I think on this one, I want to focus really, I want to have the rule of third. You see 1/3 of sky, 2/3 of the city. I'm aligning the rule of third directly on the Eiffel Tower. Boom. Look at that. The city is really coming to life. Now, I'm going to go here and use a little gradient. I'm going to do step number 4, which is the dodge and burn. So I cropped it, and now you know the story. I have a gradient. I'm going to lower this because you see, the reason why I'm doing this is because if this stays bright, people are going to just look here. I want people to look in there. So I want to make that sky way darker. So I'm going to make a big thing. And sometimes I do it in 2 steps. I do like one gradient like this, and I do a second one. Sometimes I find it gives better result. You got to try on your own photo, but I really want to break this. Okay, and now I want to make this, you see this, there was a bit of magenta coming out of here. So let's see here if we can add a circle like we did before, right where the sun was setting. And let's see if we can add a little bit of light and a little bit of magenta here. Yeah, no, that's too much. That's way too much. It's going to be just a tad, just a little bit of tad. Okay. And then last but not least, we're going to do the brush. We do all 3. And on this one, I want to make the city glow a little more. So to make it glow, I'm going to add exposure and I'm going to add some minus clarity. When you add minus clarity, sometimes it makes things glow. And because I just want to make this street glow a little more. It's very subtle, and good retouching is like subtle by subtle by subtle. It's not like in your face kind of thing. Okay, cool. Yeah. And then I'm kind of loving this. And of course, you have to be very careful because your eyes adapt a lot. So you have to wait maybe like a day or 2 before you call it done. I like to go back on my photos and usually I'm like, oh, I went too blue. Oh, I went too saturated. Sometimes it's hard. You have to, it's like, making dough. You have to make it rest a bit. Okay, so maybe a bit more contrast. I'm really liking this. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Sony file and I'm going to copy and paste that retouching and we're going to compare the results. So let's find the Sony file. So by no means this is a scientific test, but it's interesting to compare. So let's look at this one. I think this one was shot, the one from the Q3 we just retouched. It was shot at 1/13 of a second, f2.8, ISO 400. And this was shot on the Sony 1/25 of a second, f2.8, ISO 800. Yeah, this one has got slightly more ISO. The Sony was taken a bit later. So this one I've already denoised to go faster, and I'm just gonna copy what I did here. So Command-Shift-C, copy everything, including all the masking, everything on this one, which is from Sony. Now, the colors are gonna look weird at first because it's 2 different cameras, but I'm gonna try to make it match. So how do you make it match? Well, for this, let's crop it a bit the same way. Yeah. I'm going to try to make it match. I'm going to go to the reference mode here. I'm going to throw in there this is a Leica and this is a Sony. And then let's kind of like see if we can match it a little bit. So let's do the black. See, the black point is way too strong. So like this. Now let's make it much brighter. Let's make it much more blue. Again, not a scientific test because this was shot at different things, but I thought it was interesting to compare a Sony and I think I shot this about like 2 minutes after I shot this one. And yeah, texture, everything else is kind of the same. Oh, this one is, I need to crop it better because we have, yeah, it's actually really not the same cropping. It's really not scientific, but I thought it was interesting. So, okay, let's compare the Sony versus the Leica. So you've got a Leica on the left side and the Sony on the right side. It was shot maybe a few minutes apart. I mean, I love the Sony. Let's zoom in at 100%. And because this was actually less ISO, you see we have less detail. Like look on the Eiffel Tower, there's less detail, but also the contrast is different. And this was a prime. So a prime will always be sharper on the side. Look at this. See how it gets blurry here? Look at this, for example. Look how this is blurry here and it's very sharp here. I mean, this is a $5,000 lens and this is a much cheaper lens. So the Leica lens is way better and much sharper. Look at this, it's all blurry on the side. So but this is still a $2,500 lens on Sony. It's like one of the best lenses of Sony, but it doesn't beat the Leica lens, which makes sense. And I kind of like, somehow I always like the colors of Leica more. But anyway, that was a little comparison. All right, mesdames et messieurs, now let's start to get into the crazy sunset. First, we're gonna go to that crazy morning where we had this incredible sunrise. You gotta watch the video, but basically we went to the Art Bridge, probably the best view of Paris. And for 2 minutes, the sun went through the clouds and boom, we had an incredible sunrise. So this is the overexposed photo of this incredible sunrise. Let's go. So step number 1, exposure. And by the way, guys, don't forget, you can get all my 3 books. You can go my screen. Photography Essential is all about how to compose, how to get great colors, and what time to shoot your photos, what is the best light. Then you have Lighting Natural Drama, which is what this video is about. It's a lot of example of the 5 steps, so that way you have a reference. And then you got Photoshop the easy way. I did this book like it was for 5 years old. It's Photoshop the super visual and easy way. All right, so on this one, so the link of all this is under this video. You can get them for $1.99, the ebook version, plus some of my best presets, which I will mention later. So on this one, step number 1, I'm going to open a shadow. So open a shadow, bring down the highlights. You know the drill. I'm going to use a black point. So you hold on the Option key or Alt key on Windows, I'm guessing. And boom, I want that much black in it. And then, so I had to crush the black and then a little bit of white. Now the white balance is so weird on this one. So I'm going to go all the way, like warm it up. It was a crazy sunrise. Yes. And maybe add a bit of magenta. Look at that. Boom. A little bit of contrast. Maybe lower the overall saturation. No, the overall exposure. And boom. So I'm kind of happy. I did exposure. I did white balance. I go a little faster now. So now we go to step number 3, which is to refine the colors. Very important step. So let's go here. I want to go to my yellow here. And I think the yellow, I want to make them a little more reddish, more orange. Good. And I want to go here on the blue here. And I want to add a little more saturation to the blue or magenta here. Okay, cool. That's not, the rest I'm going to do is dodge and burn. So now let's do step number 4, which is dodge and burn. But first we're going to crop it. So on this one, how do I crop it? Because I centered it. So you have to ask yourself, what is nicer? Well, let's try. Let's see if we get in there and we do like a third, a little bit of water and a little bit of sky. Why not? But, oh, I like that better. I like a little less sky and a little bit more water. And like this, maybe even more like this. I like that. So let's crop this. And now let's do the, I want to bring back some blue on the top here. So on the step of dodge and burn, I'm going to click and drag here. And I'm going to lower the exposure, lower the blue here to bring back some of the blue. So you can, while you dodge and burn, you can also add a little bit of color. Maybe it's a little too much here on the color. Just a little tad of blue, not so much. Okay, this was shot with a Sony. I don't do the long exposure with the Leica, but only with the Sony. So much easier. Leica is more for like a, you know, walking and shooting kind of thing situation. Okay, I want to make the water much darker like this. I don't need to make this brighter. I think I don't need any more dodging to that. Maybe, you know, actually it's not true. Let's take a little brush here and let's make here, just let's add a little bit of light, not everywhere, but just a little bit on the island here, just a little tad. You see, I still have my feather at 100, flow intensity in 70, and voila. Ooh, I love that. Okay, cool. And then on this one does require Photoshop because Notre Dame is being rebuilt and I don't like all this scaffolding. Look how this photo is sharp. It's really sharp. It's really good. So, but before we go to Photoshop, I can see there's a little bit of noise here. So I'm going to go to the detail section here and I'm just going to do a little bit of noise reduction, but very little, just like maybe 10 or 12. I don't want to do like the whole big thing. And then I'm going to add a lot of sharpening, like maybe 90. But you see, now it's sharpening the sky. I don't want that. So I'm going to hold on the Option key again, and I'm going to do the masking. And you see that 90 sharpening is being applied everywhere. But as you move to the right, it's only being applied to what's white. And that's what you want, only that. Boom! I love it. So now it's very sharp. Look at that photo. And let's go into Photoshop. And we're just going to make one little thing. I just want to erase this, the cranes. The crane's awful. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate the layer. And again, if I go a little too fast by pressing Ctrl-J, make sure you get my book, Photoshop the Easy Way. You will know Photoshop super easily. And on this one, I'm just going to be very lazy. I'm just going to take the lasso tool. I'm going to jump in. I'm going to use the new Generate Fill option. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to select. So I want to keep that because this is the Sainte-Chapelle top. But I'm just going to go in here and select all of that first and click on Generate Fill, Generate. So generally feel you're supposed to type a prompt, but if you don't type a prompt, you let Photoshop decide what to do. And usually Photoshop is going to fear through AI that it needs to take the crane out. Okay, good. Now look at this. Pretty cool. And then we have that left. I just want to, I did it in 2 times because I want to make sure that it preserve. This is really part of Paris. It's the top of the Sainte-Chapelle, which is one of the most incredible church in Paris. It's not Notre Dame, and you have some of the best windows of the world. Okay, good. And now the scaffolder was taken out, which is the only thing I'm going to do in Photoshop. And then so I'm just going to go to File, Close, and Save. And boom, this is the final result. Look how amazing that photo is. And this is the before. Okay, don't go yet. You got to check that one last one. It's probably my favorite of the whole series. Check this out. On this one, I'm going to use my preset. So I'm going to give you, under the link, not only you get a copy of all my 3 books here, ebook version, but you're going to get also some of my best free preset. So once you download my free toolbox, which has my preset in it, to install them, it's really quick. You just go here to File, Import, Develop, Profile, and Preset. We're going to take the notch. You see the file, you got the color and the black and white. That's what you're going to get for $1.99. Not even the price of a coffee, not even the price of a tea. You get 3 books and some of my best preset. Best deal of the year. Okay. And now that I have the preset, check this out. I can go directly to a sunset because a sunrise, sunset is kind of the same, and boom. Most of the 5 steps that I told you is done. And I just have to now check out the black point, make sure it's good. Check out the white balance on this one. I think I want to add slightly more magenta, like a little more magenta, a little more blue. Maybe add a bit more contrast. I think I'm going to lower the vibrance and saturation. And we have a big dust here, which is fine, which I can get rid here with this tool here, which that didn't do a good job. Let's do it again. Yeah, sometimes it's annoying when you have a dust that's so close to something else. You go here. You click here. Okay, no, that should be good. It should be good. Okay, perfect. And then voila. And the presets are really amazing. Check this out. You can also do like black and white. Let's go to the natural drama black and white, which it's part of the package. Let's go to this one. And then on this one, all you have to do is move the white balance to match the photo. And then you can check the black point, a little more black. And the white point, look at that, just one click. And I got an amazing black and white before and after. So make sure you check out my 3 books. This one is Photography Essential, over 200 pages, 8 years to do. Some of the best tips for better composition and better light. Then you have the Lightroom Natural Drama, the 5 steps that I covered in this video. You have a lot more example in this book. And then you got Photoshop the easy way. I tried to make the most easy book ever written on Photoshop. So check it out and get the preset with it for $1.99. This is only going to be for very limited time only. It's for the new resolution. Hope you enjoy it. Make sure you watch the video that we did in Paris. It's probably one of the best produced video I ever done. It's starting right now.